Poppa thing. We got that Poppa thing. We got that Poppa thing.
Yes.
It's always,
Here we are.
a little whatever when we are just coming back.
Hi, everybody. Let's kick it off.
Let's kick it off. Kick it off.
Here we go.
Greetings. Welcome to the Poppa Pank podcast. I am Jaylene Clark Owens, and this is my friend and my co-host,
Justin Jane.
We are Philly-based, multi-hyphenated, and award-winning actors taking on all things arts and culture in this joy-forward and ever-playful variety podcast. You are listening to the tunes of the song created by Jordan McCree, member of Il Dukes. We welcome you, Pank Poppas, both old and new. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate y'all. With that, let's get it started.
Let's get it started. It is time. Ooh, it's been a minute. Oh, that's you. Yeah.
Yep. Excuse me. It's been a while. Justin, hi.
Hi. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I'm learning how to do this again.
Me too.
Yeah, and Justin and I, we've been out here going on vacations and working on projects and, generally just enjoying that fully vaxxed life safely. In Philly, things are coming back to life. Recreational activities are coming back. They're in full swing. And so we're going to cover all of that and whatnot in this episode.
Yes.
And Poppas.
Hi, Pank Poppas coming in our live audience. But also, June is Pride Month. So we are wearing our rainbow shirts. This is my Rainbows Philly shirt. What shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing Rainbow Nation.
All right.
She is a content creator and she is based in Philly and she is just awesome. She's just awesome.
Jaylene's always uplifting people.
Hey.
So we are making this a bit of a Pride celebration. And since Philly Pride has been postponed until September, we are still...
not know that.
Yeah, it has been. So they were just trying to be safe for COVID. And so in September, there's going to be a whole bunch of celebration then. But that's not to say there's celebration in the city. There absolutely is. Mm-hmm. And we are on this episode uplifting our LGBTQIA plus brothers, sisters, and non-binary royalty. And for the educational part of our episode, which we always seem to have, that means the beautiful people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, or questioning, intersex, and asexual, or allies. Plus, and that means the folks who are a mix or none of these, but identify as part of this group.
I know. I just learned something.
There you go. See, if I can teach Jaylene one thing, and it's that, then I can go to my final resting place. Easy.
I did not. Was intersex always in there?
Yes, I mean, things got added as time has gone on, and I'm sure this will keep growing. But I love that it does keep growing, and that.
But when the I was included, it always stood for intersex.
Yeah. What did you think it stood for?
Now I'm trying to think. I knew because I know of the I, but I don't know what I thought it stood for. But I didn't know intersex, and I didn't know that the A can stand for asexual or allies.
Yes, and the Q for queer or questioning.
I know that one.
We've got a lot going on in the community. If any of our Pank Poppas, our live audience that's watching tonight, knows of any more that should be added to that, or if I've gotten any of that wrong, please let us know. Yes. But Pride is also at its core about celebrating who you are authentically with unapologetic joy. And if you are listening to this episode, either on the podcast or in our live studio audience, we hope you take some time to do just that. Use this month to reflect, educate, do something special for yourself that makes you feel joyously you, and celebrate community, whatever that means for you.
Speaking of community,
Yes.
this weekend is also Juneteenth. Woohoo! So happy early Juneteenth to my brothers and sisters out there. Cheers. If you are unfamiliar, Juneteenth is basically like July 4th for Black people. Since July 4th, 1776, we were not free.
Hello.
So Juneteenth is our Independence Day. It's short for June 19th, and it commemorates June 19th, 1865, when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be freed. Like, they had to deliver the message to Galveston, Texas. And this was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So yes, June 19th, 1865 was the official end of slavery in the U.S. Now they have found other ways to enslave Black folks financially, physically, in prisons, educationally, but we won't go into all of that. We will just focus on the celebration that slavery is no longer out here in these streets. And so Juneteenth is about celebration. It's our Independence Day, and I'm just super excited about it. I'll actually be performing in a Blackity Black Joy Fest on Juneteenth, which I will talk about a little later in the episode. But yeah, also the Senate just unanimously passed a bill to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. So it just has to pass in the House. They're supposed to be voting on it today. So the House, I'm pretty sure, is going to pass in the House. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. So
it is about time. We need that extra day off somewhere in the early summer. So I am so excited about that. So we have a lot to be celebrating. Thank you for the pride love from our Pank Poppas. And it is summer. So let's get this party started with a toast to all things loud and proud.
Woo! I think it is about that time. So get your glass so we can clank.
It's time for that. Poppa drank.
Poppa drank.
Poppa drank.
Poppa drank.
Poppa drank. And cheers. And cheers.
Arriba, abajo, adentro, pa' dentro.
Jingle masacada. Mabuhay. Jaylene, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I'm having a drink that I learned at Tasha and Akeem's house, friends of the podcast. If you were watching our Cinco de Mayo episode, you saw that we had a Oaxaca old fashioned. So that's what I have. It's mezcal, tequila, agave. I don't have any bitters though, so because I'm not bitter.
You're sweet because of pride. Yes,
exactly.
And in honor of pride, I wanted to shout out my gaggles, Scott McFeeters, Thomas Shanaki, and multiple Poppa Pank guest James Imes. These guys have been my pride community for over 15 years, and I am the person I am today because of them. So when we always went out to the club, our main starter drink was always a gin and tonic. So that is what I have, and it's always a heavy pour. Usually at like Tavern on Kamak or U-Bar or Uncle's back in the day. So I am drinking just that. It's mostly gin and then a little bit of tonic. So we'll see how this episode goes. But I wish we could be hitting up the dance floor after this the way we normally would. It has been a minute since I've been on a dance floor, but I think you've been on some dance floors a lot recently.
We'll talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
Well, Pank Poppas, let us know. What are y'all drinking tonight? What is your Poppa drink? Let us know. We have missed you all. We want to know what you're drinking. Let us know.
Yeah. So this brings us to Pank News. This is the segment where we talk about anything we're vibing on this week in the arts. And this could be anything from a theater show we've seen to pop culture events and the like, and visual arts events. So Jaylene, what have you been thinking about this week in arts and culture?
Well, before I tell you, let me just shout out some of our Pank Poppa drinks.
Please.
We've got water, and more water from Janice.
Hydration is the key to meditation.
It is Mama Pat with the La Croix Pamplemousse.
You know, wait, I just learned that the proper way to pronounce that is LaCroix.
Is it?
not La Croix, even though that's like closer to the French. They had a whole commercial that was like a board meeting where they were like, we don't know how to pronounce it. And so they settled on LaCroix, like enjoy. So you will
Croix,
always
like in St. Croix, where my people from.
There you go. So LaCroix, enjoy.
I love it. So she drinking a LaCroix pamplemousse. Grapefruit. That's grapefruit, because I don't think I pronounced that right. And Paul is sipping a little beer. All right. Thank you, Pank Poppas. So, arts and culture, Pank news. What's going on?
Yeah.
I am thinking about how last time we talked here on Poppa Pank, we were telling y'all that what is it called? Wicked, Hamilton, Lion King were all coming back to Broadway September 14th. Well, another show is coming back even earlier than that.
Yes.
And that show is Passover by Antoinette Nwandu. And I'm excited about that for a couple of reasons. It's coming back August 4th. So Broadway is opening August 4th. And Antoinette is actually a Playpen Conference playwright. So if you're unfamiliar, the Playpen Conference is a conference here in Philly that it's annual, and they it's a place where playwrights can get their plays workshopped by professional actors, and then they do 2 staged readings. And Antoinette's play Flat Sam was in the 2016 conference. And so it's just really exciting to see her now going to Broadway with this play Passover. And then another Philly connection is that Theater in the X and Theater Exile here in Philly are doing that production. They're doing Passover in Hawthorne Park. It actually opening night is tomorrow. And so it's just, I just think that's really exciting. So if you're here in Philly, you can check out Passover, the Philly production. And then if you want to pop over to New York, August 4th, you can see Passover on Broadway. Not the same cast, but it is the same play. And yeah.
Now, are you able to tell our listeners a little bit about what the play is about?
The play, sure. I can tell you what the play is about.
If you want to see it in Philly, you can either go to Theater in the X's website or go to theaterexile.org. That's theatre.org for more info.
So now this is a new play, and in this play, Moses and Kitch talk smack, pass the time, and hope that maybe today will be different. As they dream of their promised land, a stranger wanders into their space and disrupts their plans. Evoking heartbreak, hope, and joy over its 85 minutes, Passover crafts everyday profanities into poetic and humorous riffs, illuminating the unquestionable human spirit of young men looking for a way out.
Yes,
Black men, and I want to see it. I want to hear it, especially because they said it's poetic. I'm like, oh, you got a little poetry in there. Hear it. So yeah, that's what was intriguing me in the Pank news for today. What you looking at?
Right. For Pank Knows, I am going local with arts and culture this week to zoom into the 2021 Philadelphia Flower Show. Now, I kind of feel like this could also be my tickled Pank and my hot topic because there's a lot of tea surrounding this year's event, but I won't spill that here. But first, Jaylene, have you ever been to the Flower Show?
Literally, so I have some friends who every year they organize, my friend Melody, she organizes a trip to the Flower Show every year, and they go have Vietnamese food afterwards. It's a whole thing. And literally, since I've known her, every year I've had a show. I've had a show during that time. And so every time I had either it was a theater show or a poetry show, I was not able to go.
But like,
I've never been.
Why didn't you go this year? You didn't have a show this year?
She ain't email. She ain't send an email. I need to call her. I wonder if they actually did.
If she's listening. Okay. For those of you that don't know, the Philadelphia Flower Show is a world-famous event organized by the Philadelphia Horticultural Society that has been traditionally taken place at the Philadelphia Convention Center, where horticulturalists and plant and garden artists and everyone in between gather to showcase displays in competition, sell plants and wares to help the home gardener, and generally celebrate all things plants and flowers. Now, the Vietnamese food is important because it's also centered in Chinatown in Philadelphia. So there's like a lot, it does a lot for their business around that area. And people from all over the globe come to participate and attend this 2-week extravaganza. And it is totally worth it, but you should expect like massive crowds. Now, this year, because of COVID, they decided to hold the event outdoors in Philadelphia's FDR Park in South Philly. And so they literally transformed a massive portion of the park to almost unrecognizable scales while featuring key points of interest in the park itself. That's a little bit where the tea comes in, is like some folks are a little bit like, what happened to the park? But my personal review, and to let listeners in if they weren't able to attend, the displays were beautiful as always. Just like think big, gorgeous art installations, all with flowers and plants, real flowers and plants. And it was really, really crowded. And most people actually followed the mask mandates for the indoor spaces, and for outdoors, it was optional, but it was also extremely hot. And I was like,
how was it indoors as well?
They have like, so because it was an FDR park, they had like a really well ventilated, like tent-ish kind of situation for some of the plants that needed to be a little bit shaded or cooler. It wasn't cooler in there. But then the Swedish, I think the American Swedish History Museum is out there as well. And the flower show sort of took over that building. That was the one place where you were truly inside. You had to wear your mask and it was like air conditioned. It was a nice little escape. But it was, as our Pank Poppa is saying here, and hot. It was up to 91 degrees the day we went.
Ooh.
And with little shade or places to cool off. So in my 4-hour visit, it was a mixed bag. But I won't go into too much detail about the tea, but it did cost the city and the Horticultural Society a lot of money, as well as took a toll on the park and regular park goers themselves. But depending on who you ask, the event is either a complete success or an utter failure. But I'll let you all Google that if you want to know more. And because we are an arts and culture podcast, I do want to mention that every display is a gorgeous work of art. And I just want to take a second and show just a few for people in our live audience who might not have been able to go there. So let's see just a couple of photos here. So this is one of my favorite installations that I saw. This is Paul, one of our Pank Poppas, who was my date to it. They turned this gazebo into this like beautiful baby's breath cascading situation. Some of my favorite was the jewelry. So every part of this piece of jewelry is made of a plant or a flower. So it's like almost unrecognizable, but it is gorgeous. This piece, I think, won something. This is pressed flowers. So we're looking at a big like landscape picture with a windmill in the background. And this is stunning that's all made out of flowers. Every little thing that looks like a brush stroke is a petal or a leaf. And then this is one of my favorite ones. So I'm showing for our listeners like a big display of flowers. It's like a jumble of flowers. But what you don't notice right away is that there's a little creature in the inside. Ooh. There's a little 3-eyed creature with a nose, and it's giving a little smile. That really tickled me, Pank, and I loved it so much.
I'm glad it tickled you, Pank, because that thing looks scary. Speaking of tickle, Pank, this is the part of the show where Tickle Pank is where we talk about something that has recently been bringing us joy and is a bit of a catch up for Justin and I. So, Justin, go ahead and tell me what's got you Tickle Pank besides the flower show.
The flower show. Well, I have 2 things this week. We at the Wilma Theater are slowly and surely coming back online and in person. And for the past 2 weeks, we've been engaged in a 2-week workshop for our first production. For those of you that are listening and don't know, Jaylene and I are both company members at the Wilma Theater here in Philadelphia. And we were in a workshop for Minor Character, which is an adaptation of Chekhov's Uncle Vanya. And it was so exciting and a little bit nervous to be back in space with people, but especially the Hot House fam. and being back to the grind. And I felt really out of shape. Like I didn't have stamina or like practice in it. So the days, even though they were like 6 or 7 hour days, they felt like 5 days in one, because we'd be like starting with movement. We'd do like some EDI work. We would do music. We would do scenes. We would like try things on their feet. But it's all really worth it, because the pause has changed some things at our organization. They've been working towards 5-day work weeks, which we instituted, and that was awesome. There's just like better communication all around. But the thing that has me the most tickled pink for the Wilma and theater at large and the arts at large is the introduction of EDI officers. And EDI is a part of a workplace practice that's equity, diversity, and inclusion. But we had an EDI officer, and her name is Noelle Diane Johnson, and she is sort of a Philly leader in this kind of work. And I'm hoping to have Noelle on this show. But it was so nice to have someone in the room who felt like they had your back, and that no stone was left unturned. Anytime something was introduced in the room that was slightly sensitive, there was somebody there to be like, pause, I just want to bring awareness to this. We can keep working. But it really makes you feel like you can just be the best artist you can be, and somebody will always have your back. Mama Pat is saying Noelle Diane Johnson is queen. Yes to that. And I'm looking forward to working with her more, and perhaps bringing her as a guest on this show.
That would be great.
The other thing that has me tickled pink involves Jaylene, and that is her hot house short, The Floor Wipers. We will talk about this in a moment, but let me just say the writing is really amazing and funny. And I was guffawing at the line, maybe he wants to flop more so we can mop more. But these lines, I'm telling you, they are going by so fast, and they're so funny that if you're laughing, you may miss them. But it gets pretty poignant at a certain point, which I was not expecting and really loving. But it's excellent sketch structure. Wait, who wrote this? What was the inspiration, and who wrote this? I need to know.
Okay. Wait, because I was getting ready to share. So we're not going to share. I'm going to answer this first, and then we're going to share the trailer, or should we play the trailer?
Let's do the trailer. Do the trailer.
Okay, let's do the trailer. Okay, here we go.
I'm Racine.
I'm Tiana.
Corona.
Was so glad to see you when I came for orientation, and we got placed on shifts together. That ain't nothing but God.
I know. I was so happy to see another melanated face in this place.
Hell yeah, I'm hyped. We get a little money, we get to watch every game for free, and I'm one step closer to getting me a husband.
I know. Wait, what?
I've always believed that the Lord wanted me to marry a basketball player.
So you're telling me that you, a sweat mopper, is about to bag an NBA star who will eventually become your husband while you're here in this bubble?
And are you telling me that you heard me
Yes.
Yes. So yeah. Oh, hey Nicole. Thank you for watching. So yeah, how do we write it? This was like peak pandemic when we were working on this. So we literally had a Google Doc, and Tasia would write some lines, and then I would write some lines, or like she'd write a scene, and then I'd come in and I'd, maybe change this or change that, and vice versa. And we just collaborated in that way. And then Akeem also would contribute some lines, and he was directing it. Akeem is her husband. And so it was such a collaborative effort right there in that freaking Google Doc.
Well, it is excellent sketch structure, and I feel like SNL could take a page from this book, but I also think this should be picked up and pushed by the NBA. That might not be out of the question. I think that could actually happen. If folks haven't seen it yet, go online and watch it. It's only 15 minutes. You can support the Wilma. You could see it for free if you want. But this does support us. And Jaylene, what has you tickled pink this past week?
Well, my tickle pink also has to do with the Floor Wipers. If you want to watch it, you can go to wilmatheater.org hot house dash shorts. And I'm tickled pink because we got a write-up in the freaking New York Times about this 15-minute sketch comedy. Like, I would not have thought that I would be in the New York Times getting a review about this sketch. So I am just super excited about that. It was a positive review. So it appears in an article called "Making Every Second Count and Plays Too Short to Miss." So that was just really, that definitely had me tickle pink. And also what had me tickle pink is last weekend, I returned to dancing.
Yes.
If you don't know, I am someone who loves to dance. I love to party. Like when I go out to a party, it's no like standing around watching other people. No. I'm dancing from the minute I get there till the minute I leave. Maybe I'll take a break to go to the restroom. Maybe. But there are some nights that I have literally danced from 10 to 2 non-stop. And so we went to a party at the Divine Lorraine Hotel on no. Take it back. First, we went to LVL, which is Las Vegas Lounge, where I would play pool there every Thursday, before the pandemic. So it was so good to go back there. Literally, the server, our friend Danny, we saw each other and literally tears in the eyes because it's been a year and a half. So that brought me so much joy. Then I went to a comedy show. That was great. Then we went to party at Frankie Bradley's.
My gosh.
We danced there. We danced for an hour and a half there. I burned 916 calories. Then that was the Friday. Then I think the Sunday, we went to the Divine Lorraine Hotel, danced for 4 hours and 15 minutes. I burned 1,688 calories. And then we went to another party that same day. We went to a Caribbean party at Kavanaugh's River Deck, danced for 2.5 hours, where I burned an additional 955 calories. So it was a crazy weekend. We must have thought we was in college. It was crazy.
I cannot wait. This is how JCO Fitness starts. It's just go follow Jaylene and dance and burn everything off.
Because at what other time do you do cardio for hours? You don't.
A marathon.
You don't go to the gym and do 4 hours of cardio, 6 hours of cardio.
Wait, but pause. I need to hear more about the Divine Lorraine Hotel because I've wanted to go into that building forever. I know it's all renovated and stuff now, but what was up with that party that you went to and what was it like inside?
Underground Concepts. They're doing a weekly series now. I think so every like Friday and Saturday. They have a party and it was just great. One of our favorite DJs in town, Matthew Law, was DJing, and it was just like feel good music. And so we just danced, and it's in there. It was in a little courtyard, so we were outside, which was great. They had some drinks and da. It was just such a nice vibe. People just dancing, and
oh my God.
I was so tickled pink this weekend. But I'm also, I'm older, okay? So my Achilles. But literally, when I was getting out of the cab coming home, I was like walking like an old woman.
Yes.
Old, so very, very old. Like my Achilles, I still gotta be I gotta stretch it because but I'm ready. I'm ready for this time.
For those of you that don't know, just Google the Divine Lorraine Hotel. It is a historical site here in Philadelphia, and it is rich. I'm jealous that you got to go into that building alone. But you know what I really want to do, Jaylene, is I want to go to a silent party again.
Yes, me too.
Tell them what a silent party is.
A silent party is where you get headphones and there's 3 DJs and you can alternate between the DJs, pick whatever station you want to listen to, and the headphones light up so other people know what station you're listening to. So if there's a good song on Blue, you like go to your friend and you tap their ears like Blue, get on Blue. It's so much fun. I don't know what Silent Philly, if you're out there listening, please have parties again. Matter of fact, I know the coordinators. I'm gonna hit them up.
And we'll host you. We'll somehow be there. We'll be there and we will promo you. here on the podcast.
Poppa Pank live from a silent party.
Yeah, you could tune in. One of the stations you could tune into is just us talking, doing an episode. So if you like really need a break, what's really fun is it is a little bit of a competition between the DJs because you can like see everybody's headphones turn, and then you see the DJ like scrambling, and it's really. And then you take off your headset, and people are just like squeaky shoes and walking and drinking and laughing and screaming.
Great for the voice.
We'll be.
I lost my voice when I went out that Friday. I had no voice because I'm listening to music. But silent party.
But stay tuned for the Pank with its Pank on the headphones. You know they're listening to us. It'll just be our Pank Poppas here. It'll just.
I'm a pitch that to them.
Yes.
Well. Yeah. I think. Well. What? Janice said. Y'all silly, silent Poppa Pank.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, tell us what has you tickle Pank out there. Let us know in the comments, our Pank Poppas who are in our live studio audience. And speaking of summer being hot, let's
we are at our hot topic.
Yes. Tell us what hot topic is.
It's, our little part of the show where we highlight either myself or Justin or both of us as we bring to the episode something that we are passionate about in relation to the theme of the day. So in this episode, we are both going to be asking questions and answering these questions just about celebrating ourselves and carrying our pride banners, where we're going to be asking all kinds of questions about what makes us loud and proud.
Before we get into these questions, I think Mama Pat is getting tickled Pank by the 76ers.
Mama Pat, type in the comments if you can, what is the score? Because if I wasn't here with y'all, I would certainly be watching the basketball games. That has me very tickled pink. I love basketball so much. So Mama Pank. Mama Pank.
Oh my God, Mama Pat has a new name, Mama Pank. For our listeners out there, Mama Pat is a long-time Pank Papa here, and we are recording this episode during the playoffs. So there's a whole lot coming from Mama Pank up in here.
Nicole says what has her tickle Pank is seeing our names in the New York Times. Thank you, sis.
Yes.
Nicole is Tasha's sister. So
yes,
the family affair.
Okay, let me get into, while we wait for the score, let me get into these questions. So this question is for both of us again, and if you want to tell us in the chat on our live audience, let us know what part or parts of your family history make you proud.
So for me, I am I don't know why I'm echoing. We're just gonna pause.
Let the stars align. While we're pausing and letting the stars align, the score of the 76ers game is we are up 75-54. That might have changed in the 20-second delay, but
I love it. Okay, you finished echoing? Yes, you are. See, sometimes it just needs a second.
Okay, what part or parts of your family history make you proud?
I would say I am super proud of being Black, first and foremost.
Yes.
I love being a part of this culture. I love being Black. It is not a tragedy, as I say in one of my recent poems. Being Black is a privilege, and I love it. So that makes me proud. Second, I am really proud of being West Indian. We talked about LaCroix. My family, my maternal side is from the Virgin Islands. My maternal grandparents were both born there, and I have yet to visit. Plan to visit in October. We'll see, unless I get cast in something. But if I don't get cast in something, I'm gonna be up in Virgin Islands. So I just have an immense pride for being West Indian, for being a part of that culture. I love the music, obviously. I love the music. I love the food, and I would love to learn more about the history. Yeah, I would say that makes me proud. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I think it's sometimes overwhelming to think about all the people and all the events that led me to being me. And especially being the child of immigrant parents has its own kind of gravity that carries with it all kinds of inherited hopes and dreams, as well as, some sometimes tumultuous history. But I constantly feel ancestors, both living and ancient, every day. And that kind of connection makes me really proud. And especially being proud of being a first in my family in so many ways. And hoping to make a path and set example for my own daughter. And she makes me the most proud.
Oh, yes. Also proud of my Southern roots, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why my daddy's side, Virginia.
Mm.
Woo, woo, woo. I need to learn more about it, but I'm proud. I'm proud. Papa preach. Yes. Okay. So my question is, speaking of pride, what is your proudest professional achievement, Justin?
Woo. This is a tricky one because I generally think making my sustained professional life as a working artist is like a massive achievement by itself for you, for me, for all of our community. But it has been amazing to tour the world and be a parts of amazing companies and win awards. But if I had to choose in this moment something that's like up there, I'd say it's touring my show, The Post Show, with my company, the Berserker Resonance, to Edinburgh Fringe in 2014. Now, this was like an ultimate experience and one that forced me to the limits of what it meant to produce, to perform, to market and party. And we had a $60,000 budget and we were managing 11 people and making sure the show was good. And this was all on the shoulders of like myself and my partner, Brad Wren, and Dave Johnson, our company. Like nobody else was doing that. It was all me trying to do that. And so it was an achievement just to dream all of that. And I've been wanting to go back and do it all again. Someday soon, the Berserkers will be back there. But it's one of those life moments where you're thrown way out of your comfort zone to try an impossible task. And so I think that really changed me as an artist, producer, and a person. But what about you? What is your proudest professional achievement?
Look at us twinning, because similarly, my proudest achievement, definitely top 3, if not the top, is Killer Whale. So much like you, I also have a theater company, Harlem KW Project, and just creating our play Renaissance in the Belly of a Killer Whale. I still marvel at how that joint really literally started on Facebook as a Facebook status and evolved into a production, a Delco award-winning production that we have toured to various schools, various venues, and it has made us money. And we were able to generate income for ourselves and made us business owners. Like, how God is good, because the fact, I still get emotional thinking about how it went from Facebook to this thing that we're still doing 10 years later. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of us stepping into these roles that we had not learned before. We didn't know what it was to be a director, to be an executive director, to be a producer. But we got in, we learned as we were learning as we went. And I'm really proud of that. I'm also really proud of winning first place at the Apollo.
Hello.
That was peak Harlemness. And again, that had to do with Renaissance, because I did a poem from the play at the Apollo. And so to be a Harlemite and win first place at the Apollo, that is definitely something I'm very, very proud of.
I love that. I can't wait to see the next iteration of Killer Whale. I hope it'll just keep going and keep on going. Yeah, I think for our listeners out there, if you're a producer, you know exactly what Jaylene and I are talking about. And if you're not a producer, just imagine the hardest thing, putting together, making something out of nothing and putting it up on its feet, sending it into the world.
Sounds like having a child.
It's a child. Yeah, you're having a child, a little art
Being
child.
a parent.
Yes. So my third question here is, what are some personality traits that you are proud of, and or when do you feel like your most authentic self?
I am proud. Listen, I'm proud of my New York City / Harlem accent.
Yes.
I have been embracing it more and more recently, and just reminding myself that how I speak is valid and it's worthy in all places, even though the world will make you think otherwise.
Yes. Hello, pride. Yes.
So I definitely feel like my most authentic self when I'm in a place where I am able, when I'm able to just speak how I want, pronounce the words the way I grew up pronouncing them, call them the things I grew up calling them. That is when I think I feel most authentic, when I feel just at home within my own self. I'm also very proud of being an empath. Even though, so this means that I feel deeply, I feel other people's emotions, which means, I cry a lot. Whether, even if it's fictional, so I cry in like every single episode of anything I ever watch, even if it's a comedy, there will always be a sad or sappy moment. And who's crying? Me. Because I feel deeply, but I'm proud of that characteristic, because oftentimes it helps me to see when somebody is, a little off, if they're having a bad day, and that gives me the opportunity to possibly help them or encourage them, or it may be a sign that I said something out of whack, and I pick up. That happened to me the other day. I was wrong in this situation, but I didn't realize it. I wasn't intentional, but I felt the energy shift, and I was like, did something just happen? And lo and behold, they ain't like what I said. So I was able to offer, my apologies. And so I'm proud of that characteristic.
That is a skill. I love that.
What about you?
Well, I like making people laugh, and I love laughing. And my friend Lindsay Smiling, he was on this show recently gave me a new nickname. He called me Just Enjoy Jane.
Aww.
And that makes me proud. We are celebrating Pride here on the podcast. And so I managed to carry both the negative and positive with equal measure and balance. And I also think I'm a good leader and listener and problem solver, but I do those things in subtle and sometimes not subtle ways. And I often surprise people, including myself. But at the end of the day, I'm just a big kid at heart, which is one of the things that makes me proud as a dad. And in terms of being my authentic self, that changes, depends on the rooms that I'm in. Because I'm always changing, but my theater friends, they always make me feel like my funniest, most complicated self. But I do want to shout out again my gaggle, because it's Rainbow Pride. Scott and Thomas and James, love you all. And they feel like I can celebrate my queerness, and it's celebrated and factual. There's this quote from Rent, which just celebrated its 25th anniversary, which is a line in La Vie Boheme. They say, to being an us for once instead of a them. And I love that line. To being an us for once instead of a them, and all these people, you included, make me feel that way. So that's what makes me feel proud.
I love it. Well, this is our final question, but speaking of proud, what does pride mean to you personally?
Okay, pride to me is about being joyous about who you are. And I think there's a very strong distinction for me about what that means. And so it's not necessarily about confidence or anything like that, but it's about joy. That it's part of it, but it's about being positive and happy about who you are. It's also about being unapologetic for what brings you light in your soul. That might be something that's weird to somebody else or off, but I think and the last thing is, I think pride is also about community in all its shapes and colors, surrounding yourself with people who help you feel closer to who you are. And I think that's anybody who can make you feel like this is who I am and I feel awesome about that. That is pride for me. What does pride mean to you personally?
I feel like it seems really hard to define pride without saying it's when I'm proud.
Yeah, that's the teacher would be like, don't use the word in the definition.
I know. So I would say that for me, pride is having a deep pleasure, a joy, a satisfaction with being just your unapologetic self. Pride. I think pride is happiness in being who you truly are, loving your whole self, the highs, the lows, and just being really proud of that person.
Yeah. So
to me.
I hope all of our listeners and everybody out there does something that makes them feel closer to who you are. If it embarrassed you or you have shame about it, who cares? This is your month to do that. I'm wearing an earring right now that James gave me. It's like a big old tentacle. It's a beautiful, like silver giant tentacle. And it has like made me, this has been like my Pride Month earring because it's very loud. When I enter a room, it's the first thing people notice and comment about. But I'm like, I think a different version of me could be a little bit embarrassed or like, I don't, what am I doing? But I love it. It's making me so proud for Pride Month. So happy Pride, everybody. Let's move into our Pank forecast.
Pank. Forecast.
Yo, that is something I haven't heard yet, y'all.
Exactly.
I think Jaylene was working on a jingle for Pank Forecast, and you all just heard it for the first time here.
So for those who are new here, I always do a jingle, but it's always something different for Pank Forecast. Usually I just do Pank Forecast, which Justin always says is too close to Hot Topic, which it's not. But, you know, I decided to try something new. And I actually did practice something earlier, but I totally forgot what it was. So that's what we got.
I really like that one. And hopefully you were crafting that while I was answering the last question.
No, it was earlier.
For those of you that don't know, Pank Forecast is where we check in about anything upcoming that we're excited about. So Jaylene, what do you have upcoming and what are you excited about?
I got a lot of things going on this weekend.
Yes.
So Friday, June 18th at 7:30, I will be part of Tempesta de Mar's production English Orpheus, which is an intimate 5-act cabaret on love's eternal themes as told through English songs and poetry. So Tempesta de Mar is a Baroque orchestra. And so I will be reading various poems from writers such as Shakespeare and William Congreve, William Congreve is a English poet, from England. And it's it's totally something that I had never heard of Tempesta de Mar, and I could be pronouncing that wrong. It could be Mare. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. I was not familiar with a Baroque orchestra. I just was not familiar with any of this. But I think it's really cool. And
wait, is this in person or virtual? And how can people watch it?
Both. So the in person is going to be at Christ Church. I should have written that down, but it's at Christ Church. And it's on Friday at 7:30, and I'll be reading the poems, and the orchestra will be there, and it's going to be a whole good time. And then, but if you can't make that, you can watch online starting the 19th, and that'll go from the 19th through the 27th of June.
And you'll be in person.
I'll be in person, and I'll also be in the virtual. In the virtual, you get to see me reading the various poems throughout different places in the city.
All right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So visit tempestademare.com. That is TEMPESTADIMARE.com. So that's happening Friday in person and through the 27th for virtual. And then also on Saturday on Juneteenth, I am participating in Sheesh, which is a Blackity Black Joy Fest put on by OMG Studios. Now, OMG Studios is the brainchild of Brianna Goss, and I practice Goss, the brainchild of Brianna Goss, who recently assistant directed Justin for No Child at the Arden, and who has worked with us both at the Wilma as an artistic and education associate. So Sheesh is an interdisciplinary arts festival meant to evoke joy from the arts and talents of Black folks. So there will be music, vendors, activities like friendship bracelet making, tie-dyeing, basketball, double dutch, and there will be live performances from artists like yours truly and friends of the podcast, Ill Doots. So I'll be performing a couple poems as well as selling my merch in person, which I have not done in since before the pandemic. So I'm very excited. I'll have my copies of my book and my CD. I'll have my stickers, buttons, my wristbands. The festival is from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. in Lee Park in West Philly. So definitely check out all my Goss. I want to say Gauss, but it's Goss.
I didn't know what was happening. Just that I thought something serious was happening to you.
Oh my God. Check out Oh My Goss. So OMYGAUSE.com. It's free, but there are also, like, if you pay, you could get a shirt and this and that and this. And it's also virtual. It can also be virtual if you can't attend in person. But
yes.
That's what's happening with me. Justin, what's happening with you?
Well, what's happening with me is my Pank forecast is again to plug here the Hot House short. So the floor wipers are one of many, and the website again is Wilma Theater. That's theater.org/hothouse-shorts, and that's where you'll find the floor wipers. But I also have a Hot House short being released this Friday, and that is called The Rot, and that is a piece that I did with Sarah Glico and Anthony Martinez Briggs and Campbell O'Hare. It is basically a music video and poetry and music all in one. That's being released this Friday. So go check those out. Those are all live, and all of the past Hot House shorts, except for maybe one or two of them, are still up. So if this is totally new to you, go check those out. This is our company showcasing what we do, and it's quite a variety. So please go see that. And the other thing that I am so jazzed about this week is In the Heights. It's streaming on HBO Max, and it's in theaters if you're feeling brave. But I do think, like, if you're going back to the theater for the first time, this is a pretty good one to go see. It's like you'll feel like you're seeing the Broadway show. I saw the Broadway show.
Me too.
I loved it, and I think this does a good job. There's a little bit of controversy around it, but I'll let you Google that if you want to. Otherwise, just go check it out. I think it's a really beautiful musical, and it's a story that hasn't been told yet until now. So I'm so excited about that. But what is our biggest Pank forecast right now?
We have an announcement. Remember, we've been saying we have a big announcement, and we keep saying it and saying and delaying it and delaying it. Well, on Monday, we will have our podcast out. Woo!
Yes, there it is. All below. The Poppa Pank podcast is officially launching on Monday, June 21st. You can go to Poppa Pank, that's POPPA.buzzsprout.com, BUZZSPROUT.com. Now, if you're listening to this, you probably have already gone there. You probably already know this.
Yes. So we're going to be launching on Monday. That's also when I'm getting my wisdom teeth out. Sidebar. I know I said I was doing that back in April, but I messed up the time, so I didn't go. So it had to be scheduled to June 21st. So that's that. But anyway, so the podcast right now will be at that website below. But give us a little bit and it'll be on the platform. So we got to get some episodes going and whatnot. So what it'll be is that, like, Monday, you'll have this episode will be appearing on Monday. And then the following Monday, you'll have what we're calling a Pank Pop Back. So it'll be this is episode 37. So episode 36 will be there. And then we'll alternate like that, where you get a recent episode and then one of the pop backs, and we'll keep popping back till all of our episodes are up on the platform. So
that's a lot. We just said a lot, but, like, it's all good. you will explain it. It'll be clear there.
Thank you for the congrats. out there, Pank Poppas. So yeah, Justin, we've only got a few minutes left. What game are we gonna play?
Okay, let's do one game. And because it's Pride, I'm taking a cue from one of our Pank Poppas out there. Paul has this game that I wanted to try. It's called Rainbow Categories. So you have the colors, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. We're not going to do indigo because some of these categories won't work. So 6 colors. And I'll give us a category and you have to tell me 6 things that are those colors. Okay, I'll do it too, but we can't repeat. All right.
Okay.
The first one is fruits and vegetables. So a red fruit or vegetable.
Strawberry.
Apple. Orange.
An orange.
I'm gonna choose a kumquat. Are kumquats orange? Sure. Yeah. Red, orange, yellow.
We're saying fruit.
Fruits or vegetables. Summer squash.
Yeah.
What?
A corn.
There you go. Red, orange, yellow, blue.
Blueberry.
I'm gonna say oh right, orchid. I think orchid does count as a vegetable and it is edible.
Yes, I could have said lemon for yellow. Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Mama.
I hear some shade coming from the Pank Poppas. Roy GB, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Green, we didn't do green.
Oh, well, a watermelon is green on the outside.
This is true. That counts. I'm going to choose spinach and violet. Ooh, purple yam. That's ube.
Eggplant.
There we go. All right, another category. Can we do 2 more? Things you find at the beach. Red.
A ball.
A towel.
Okay.
Orange.
A hat.
A pail. Yellow.
The sun.
The sand. Green.
The seaweed.
Oh, the poop. Bird poop. Blue.
The water. Hopefully.
Blueberries and violet. Purple.
Bathing suit.
Glasses. This one's hard. Okay, let's just do songs that you can think of that have the colors of the rainbow. So red. This can be competition style. Red, red, white.
You got that.
Okay, orange. Oh. Nope.
Pat.
Yellow. Do you have something for yellow?
They call me mellow yellow.
Yes, red, orange, yellow, green. It's not. It's not easy being green.
Give me the green light.
Yes.
Next color.
Blue.
I'm blue.
You are killing it. Blue, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Wait. Red, orange, yellow, to green, blue, violet. Or purple. Purple rain, purple rain.
Boom.
Yes.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
That is our Pride edition of Pank Games.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are at the end of the episode.
Yes.
All right.
Freestyling?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Before we freestyle, can we talk about our next episode?
Yes. I don't know why it's saying the internet, but I'm on the okay. You
Well,
can hear me, right?
Our next episode, people, is 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, June 30th at 9 p.m. We are going to have a special guest with us that day. Please tune in. It is summertime. We're going to have fun, do up to all of our shenanigans, and our podcast will be up and running by then. So please join us Wednesday, June 30th, 2 weeks from right now. All right, let's close this out.
Okay, so your word is color. Go.
The rainbows are shining. It's proud time today. I've got all my friends. Hey, everyone, I'm gay. Let's all be colorful in all types of ways. We have been here all these nights and all these days.
Yay! I knew you were going with that line.
Okay. Let's do pride.
Yes, here I am. I have so much pride. You take my authentic self. Don't push me to the side. I'm gonna live in my truth. I'ma be who I be. I'm black. I'm Jaylene Clark Owens, unapologetically me.
Yeah. Those were the smoothest, easiest, fastest
Smooth.
that we've done. Yeah.
Smooth.
Look at that. Pride and freestyles rolling off the tongue.
Give us a shoot, that was from last week. Give us a proverb about being prideful and proud.
Okay. Oh, right. There's an old saying that is be who you want to be or see what you don't see. Who you want to be
or see what you don't see. That is today's proverb. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a wonderful time. We missed y'all. Thank you, Paul, and our live audience as we knocked it out the park.
We want to thank Jordan McCree, who wrote our music, Tracy Cassius, who is our studio editor, all of our past guests, and you, our Pank, Poppas, our followers who are tuning in with us right now. Please plug us on social media and subscribe if you haven't yet. All of the love to you. Happy Pride. Happy Juneteenth. So much to be happy for.
We love you all. And please feel free to donate. It costs money to have a podcast, let me tell you. So if y'all would like to donate, you can do so. Our Cash App is Poppa Pank. Our PayPal is paypal.me/Poppa Pank. You can also email us at poppapank@gmail.com if you don't have any of those other payments.
And one last thing, for those of you very curious, the game is in its fourth period, Sixers 93, Hawks 80, 8 minutes left.
I love
That's
it.
a good note to go out on.
There we go. And with that, just 1 second. And with that, we are going to say until next time. Oogie. Bye.